A fire on board ship, however caused, is a major emergency. When it's an open fire, it is normally discovered very quickly and dealt with in accordance with the well-rehearsed firefighting procedures laid down in the company's emergency manuals. On board a container ship, another type of fire can occur which is insidious, and it takes a long time to detect because it's a closed fire. It is also very difficult to fight because on board this type of ship, space is usually very limited and access to the fire is highly restricted. We are, of course, referring to container fires. Both the officers and members of the crew regularly take part in fire drills to practice how to deal with open fires. But very seldom do they have an opportunity to practice fighting container fires. So this video is designed to show the special problems that can arise when fighting container fires. In most cases, a container fire will be discovered when smoke appears from an unknown source. Often, when smoke is noticed, the fire has been burning for some time and may have jumped from one container to several others in the immediate vicinity.
Yes, third party bridge, go ahead.
Yeah, this is a third party. We are with phase 06. On there we see a lot of white color smoke coming off from the containers on the starboard side, sir.
It is therefore very important to establish the location of the smoke as soon as possible.
Yes, Rich, go ahead.
Andy, can you tell me which side the smoke's coming from?
Yeah, the smoke is coming from starboard side, sir, starboard side.
Okay, I'm going to swing the ship to starboard. I want you to go on the port side and stay there. Start rigging up the hoses and keep me informed of any changes on deck. Over.
Yeah, understood that.
Of course, whilst this is taking place, the normal fire response procedure is activated by the master.
Take over the wheel.
Yes, sir. Behind code 230.
Thank you. That mate, can you take over the watch? Steering 230. Please make sure you keep the wind on the port beam.
Roger, keep wind on the port beam.
One of the first control measures is to turn the ship so that the wind will blow smoke and flames away from the rest of the ship. Then the ship proceeds at the slowest speed at that heading. The decision to launch the lifeboats is delayed, awaiting further information. The crew muster, and the master takes command of the incident.
All teams come in.
Yes, sir.
He should display a calm and deliberate authority.
I have all my men present except Deck Cadet Andy is missing, sir.
Okay, support team, Deck Cadet Andy is at near the seat of the fire. I want you to get the stretcher and first aid box ready. Once you've done that, have the emergency lifeboat ready for lowering.
Yes, sir, understood.
Emergency team to command team.
Go ahead.
I have all my men mustered, except Ibitan is missing, over.
Okay, Ibitan is near the seat of the fire. Emergency team, I want you to proceed to the seat of the fire from the port side and have one man wearing a CBA set and report to me when you are there.
Yes, sir, understood.
Backup team to command team.
Yes, go ahead.
Backup team, all men mustered and standing by.
Yeah, backup team.
Send one man with the SCBA set along with the emergency party, and rest of your men can start taking out the additional equipment from the steering gear flat.
Yes, sir, understood. Okay, Angie, you go for the BA set. Win and Tong, you go for the additional equipments.
Okay, Roger, sir.
All the emergency parties swing into action and assemble all the necessary equipment, not only to fight the fire directly, but also the specialist equipment required for boundary cooling.
That mate, Just send out a security message and warn all the ships in the vicinity.
Okay, sir. Security, security, security. This is MV non-such. Call sign X-ray, 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 X-ray. My present position, latitude 38 degrees 01 minute north, longitude 009 degrees 38 minutes east. I have containers on fire. Presently, I am not under command. Please keep clear of me. End of message. So, security message sent, sir.
Thank you.
As soon as possible after the discovery of a fire, the cargo involved or stowed in the vicinity must be identified. The emergency party arrives at the seat of the fire and sends the lookouts to join their own teams. The control team on the bridge locates all the available cargo documentation. First, the dangerous goods list is consulted and the cargo stowage plan checked on the computer. The MFAG and EMS sections will give the procedures to follow.
The good news is there's no reefer down there, sir.
Okay.
As the nature of the cargo is being checked by the control team, the emergency party prepares to attack the fire.
Rowing team, all men on standby, 14G control room. All fans off.
Thank you, Chief.
Chief, we found that there are a few containers at the starboard side, basic are catching on fire.
The emergency team assesses the extent and possible source of the fire and reports it to the master.
Emergency team to command team. I am now at the scene of fire. I see a lot of smoke coming out from the starboard side container bay 06. I got 2 hoses already rigged. Can I use water to fight fire, sir?
Yes, we can use large amount of water to fight the fire.
Yes, sir, understood. And I have sent Cadet Andy back to his station. Over.
Okay, that's good.
I want you to start rigging up more hoses so that we can make water curtains forward and after bay 6.
Once the location and extent of the fire are known, the direction of attack and the method of boundary cooling are planned and agreed. This includes cooling from above and below.
Support team, give me an update.
Support team to command team. I have already placed first aid kit and stretcher on the catwalk at bay 10 port side. Emergency boat has been prepared and ready, sir.
All measures taken by the ship's personnel must be recorded for later analysis and evaluation, so that lessons can be learned and efficiency improved.
Yes, sir, understood.
Backup team, give me an update.
Yes, backup team to command team. Backup team now proceeding with additional equipment along the port side.
Okay. Please liaise with the emergency team and see where the manifold has to be rigged and let me know when you are ready to rig.
Yes, sir, understood.
In the background, the support team checks with the master whether or not the power may need to be isolated from reefer containers, whether any open containers need to be dealt with, whether ventilation should be stopped, or the watertight doors closed to prevent problems arising from the use of large quantities of water. All the necessary connections for boundary cooling are made. The extended use of water during boundary cooling makes it most important to have on board extra hydrant distributors, multiple hose manifolds and hoses to ensure that even a complex boundary cooling scheme can be implemented along the whole length of the ship. If not, there is a danger that the fire will spread out of control. the seat of the fire is now attacked.
I have to report a fire on board.
Head office must be informed as soon as possible after the discovery of a fire. If, in the judgment of the master, the incident is too serious to be dealt with quickly by portable fire extinguishers. Head office will put its own emergency plan into action and form a communication centre. They will inform the P&I Club, the freight forwarders, and the next port agent about possible delays. Head office can also provide the master with further information about the cargo. It is essential to limit the spread of fire from container to container. This is the purpose of the restricting boundary cooling scheme devised at the outset. Boundary cooling should be done from all directions at once. Particular attention needs to be given to hatch covers, as the fire could jump from the deck to containers in the holds. Due to the restricted space and access room between containers, lightweight portable stages can be used to help penetrate the containers on fire. These enable small holes to be cut in the side or roof of the container which is burning, so that water can be directed as high as possible inside and into the seat of the fire. Lances may be used if there is adequate space for this. A better option is the use of pneumatic grinders or drills, as these can be used in confined spaces. Alternatively, the bolt hinges may be removed and replaced by a suitable adapter for introducing water into the container. It is now clear that boundary cooling will need to be continued for many hours. Special brackets are made up for holding the nozzles in position. This will allow the team members to rest whilst boundary cooling continues. Teams must be changed in accordance with a prepared roster. This is most important to avoid a totally exhausted crew who would not be able to continue with either the boundary cooling or with fighting the fire. A large volume of water is likely to be used during a prolonged boundary cooling. Therefore, careful attention must be paid to avoid the accumulation of water and the consequent possibility of free surface effect endangering the stability of the ship. Such volume of water represents a particular danger for ships which operate at a very low metacentric height, or GM. One way to avoid this is to keep the bilges clear and keep testing the bilge lines. In some cases, ships do not carry enough charged BA cylinders for prolonged use, nor do they have a charging compressor. Experience shows that in the case of container ships, the availability of a charging compressor is vital. If one is not carried, this must be obtained as soon as possible.
Hello, yes, this is Captain from the MV Nonsuch.
The master informs the shore emergency team that, in his view, the fire may take 20 to 30 hours to extinguish, and that he needs information as to the content of some of the containers involved in the fire.
Yeah, I realise that, but time is very important.
The head office team provides further information about cargo.
Should satisfy.
The master warns the shore team that he may need extra men if the firefighting goes on too long. The emergency party must be relieved from duty as they've been fighting the fire for many hours. The backup team have also worked non-stop. 30 hours later, a relief team arrives on board from a sister ship. The new crew are quickly briefed on the current situation and made ready to carry on the job.
Bring you update on what's happening so far. We got a fire at bay 06, this bay here. Okay, it's a class 4.2 danger cargo, spontaneously combustible material here. It's a hafnium powder. Okay, so what we have done, actually there's 6 of them, which is what fire. It's all on row 0, 9 and 11. And we have cut holes in them. We have actually flooded it, and it's more or less under control. But we are now doing boundary cooling. So we got 2 hoses pointing from starboard, 2 hoses from port this way, and 2 are from up, right? And there is 3 shooting from top, 06 downwards. Alright, a total of 11. Sorry, 9. 2, 4, 6, 9. 9 altogether. And right now I got already 12 men on, and they need to be relieved. This way you comes in. Any question, me?
Jimmy, I think I don't have enough men. They'll supply extra men.
Oh, that part you don't worry. We have already done a roster. You guys are coming on the 4-8 watch. So you guys will skip 4 hours, extend it to 2 hours, 6 hours altogether. Therefore, I will have 12 men on deck at all times. You are only relieving 6 of my crew. Okay? So if everything is okay, then we shall proceed to deck and see what happens. Okay. Hey! You need 2 guys from your side. Okay? Make sure they are pointing at the base 06 and cool all places. Okay? 2 guys from your side.
Sanjay and Hadi, so you have to take over them.
The situation is now well under control. It is now only a matter of time before the fire will be extinguished.
Okay, well done guys. Now let us square up. Bring all the gears right down here. Come on. Okay, Win. Good job. Well done. Emergency team to command team. Come in.
Yes, emergency team, go ahead.
Emergency team, we have extinguished the fire. I have confirmed and checked twice. There is no more fire. We are now clearing all the gears. Over.
Okay, good job done. We will have to maintain a continuous patrol till we reach the discharge port.
Leave all the hoses on the holders as they are as a precautionary measure.
Okay, Roger, understood.
Third mate, cancel the security message.
Yes, sir.
Rahim, steady on 150.
Yes, sir.
Let's get to our destination.
The incident is over. The ship can now resume her voyage. As far as the emergency parties are concerned, tired as they are, there is one more task to perform. The emergency suits and equipment must be cleaned and stored safely for future use.
Hello, yes, this is Captain from the MV Nonsuch. The fire is extinguished and we are en route to our port of destination.
Right. Okay, Mel.
Can you please advise all concerned parties regarding the incident? Thank you. Bye-bye.
At this point, we will stand down our response.
Once everyone has had a chance to rest and recover, a debriefing session will be organized and the entire exercise analyzed.
In conclusion to this fire incident we had on board, I think I would like to highlight these points that it was good for us to have an air compressor on board.
Already, a number of key points have emerged. As soon as the fire is discovered, its location must be established so that a plan of attack and boundary cooling can be devised. The emergency response plan in force on board must be implemented, including turning the ship so that the smoke and fire will be directed away from the ship. The type and location of dangerous goods involved or in the vicinity of the fire must be established, together with the recommended methods of fighting the fire. As soon as possible, restrictive boundary cooling must commence to prevent the fire spreading. Additional equipment over and above FFA requirements should be made available on board container ships, particularly multiple hose manifolds, extra hoses, hose holding brackets, pneumatic grinders, portable lightweight platforms, and an air compressor for recharging exhausted air cylinders. A careful roster of personnel must be drawn up, ready to tackle a prolonged session of boundary cooling and firefighting. If possible, extra personnel should be requested by the master to supplement the small number of crew members on board. Accurate records of all events on board ship during the fire must be made, so that lessons can be learned from the incident. Regular contact must be established by the master with head office and the shore emergency party to ensure that all possible assistance is available to the ship.